today, the Lord just called us here for the student body. And I told Jerry Powell Jr. when he called me and asked me to pray about this, I said, I'm a church planner, and I'd love to just raise up like the next generation of the church. This place has always been in the parking lot of a church. There's only one plan that God has to reach the world, and that's his bride, the church, and there's no plan B. It's not like if the church won't do it, the college will. And so Thomas Road isn't in the parking lot of Liberty University. Liberty University was birthed out of a church that is in the parking lot of a local church. And that's God's plan A. And so we came here to raise up church planners, people to be on staff as a worship team in a church. We came here to raise up people that will go and be in the child care, and like do child care in a church. We came here because we believe that you are the next generation of the church. And we came here for you, but I think Jennifer and I would be remiss if we didn't say that you gave back tenfold everything that we try to give to you. And we're so grateful for the student body. Some of you have become lifelong friends for us. And we're not dying, there's no funeral. We'll see you in Nashville. But I just want to say one last thing. And then we got to get on track here, because this has got to be about the Lord and worshiping him. And be really bad stewardship if you have Chris Conlon here and we're 25 minutes in and we haven't sung yet. All right, so let's get back on. But I would be a bad steward at this moment if I didn't honor our OSD family, the Office of Spiritual Development, that transcends beyond staff, but he goes into the resident shepherds, the MKs, the worship collective, our community group leaders. You have led in this, and this has been your labor of love. And God gets all the glory, but you deserve so much more than me and Jennifer would get. And I'd love to recognize our staff. Can I just get our OSD family of staff to stand up just for a second? You will please. They're the ones. They're the ones who deserve it. They're the ones who deserve to stand in your worship. They're the ones that don't get credit. They're the ones who get country. They're the ones who come around 5 a.m. and don't go to the bed. They're the ones. To have rehearsal. I said, let's be shepherds, and they're the ones who get in the weeds. And so again, God gets all the glory, but I want to thank our OSC family and the way that you labor in the trenches, and nobody ever gives you, the credit that you deserve. And it costs your family a lot. And so thank you. Lastly, sweetheart, this is a crazy moment. And I'm so grateful for you. Behind every successful man is a worn-out woman. And you have worn yourself out serving our students. And you are the strongest Christian I know. And every morning I wake up and I walk in our living room, and she's beating me out of bed, and she's sitting there with her Bible open, her prayer journal open, and her prayer journal is just filled with you. Name of student after student after student. And I just love how we've been able to serve together. And I just want to say, I don't think that the best thing that ever came out of our time was me. I think it really was in the trenches of you. And I just honor you, honey. And I love you. And Rudy and Grace and Rachel and our sweet baby Avery in the world. It's just so awesome that we've been able to do this together. All right. Can I just get you to stand with me just for a second? Let's bow our heads for prayer just a second. And let's just pray. Chris is going to come up. All right.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you too. And just prepare your heart to go after the Lord. And we did this backstage a little while ago. Can you just put Jesus, the author and the perfecter of your faith, before you? Just close your eyes. And here's a good way to do it. Why don't you just think for just a second and think about the hour you first believed. I don't know if you were 18 when you got saved. I was 18 and 2 months old when I got saved. I don't know if you were 9. Saw someone lift their hand a second ago when Dr. Pigo asked if you've ever come to Christ. And I recognized that person came to Christ last Wednesday. And so whether it was 3 days ago or it was 12 years ago, just think about the hour you first believed. You remember what it felt like to be born again in that moment? That That moment that God, before the foundation of the earth, had predestined as your homecoming. Do you remember the gratitude you felt? How your heart just beat faster knowing you were no longer a slave? How you realized you were no longer an orphan? You were no longer blind. You were no longer dead. You were no longer abandoned. You were a child of God. You were royalty, a royal priesthood. You were a part of a family. You realized all that God gave you was so much more than even just salvation, sanctification, purpose, peace, hope. Do you remember what Jesus gave you? And so just right now, just fill your heart with gratitude and just say, God, I'm going to sing these songs. Chris is the greatest psalmist in the history of Christian music in one sense. You know, he doesn't compare to a David, you know, in the Bible, but God has given him songs for the world. I can't tell you how many times in these mission trips, Chris, we'd go to another country and they'd be singing your song in Russian.